Good day, everybody. I hope you're doing well. This is a introductory session on Realm for laptops or desktops, but not for cell phones and not for clients. There are other videos for Realm, what a client sees, or how to use your cell phone for Realm already. So we won't be going into that. This is strictly for desktops or laptops. So when you first want to get into Realm, you can see in the upper left-hand corner that we have app.realmmlp.ca, and you can put in the / and sign in, though it's not necessary if you don't want to. You can simply put in app.realmmlp.ca, and it'll take you to this home page here. And to sign into Realm, it's exactly the same as the way you used to sign into Stratus. You're a member, so you click on member. You have to put in your ID. Your ID, of course, is your TREB number that starts with 9, a PIN number that you've usually used with Stratus as well. You submit, and just like when you used to log into Stratus, you get the two-step authentication code. Just let me put that in for you. And submit. And when you first log into Stratus, it's going to take you to one of two places. It's going to take you to either the search screen, which is what I'm looking at right here, or it's going to take you to your dashboard, your home screen, which is, I'm circling it here in the upper right-hand corner. And the home screen looks like this. And you have a choice of how you want to, what you want to see when you first log in. So if you go over to your, and we'll look at both of these in a moment, but I'll show you how to do that. If you go over here to your avatar, and if you don't have a picture in Stratus or Realm yet, it's going to have your initials here. And you click on that, and you click on Settings. And when you click on Settings, you can see here in your account, it has a start page after sign in. What are you going to see? And you can see I've got mine set up as searching listings. And I would think a lot of people want searching listings. You can get to save searches, but I guess if you always were going to look at your save searches only, then this is what you would do. And we'll talk about save searches as we move through Realm. But I think most people would want to see their listings, search the listings, I should say. Your chat, you can go right to a chat page as well if you always want to log in because you're chatting a lot, and we'll talk about chatting. Or you can see the last one here is dashboard. And so search listings or dashboard are by far going to be the most two common ones that you probably use. And I would take a guess that most people want to search listings because that's probably why you're going into the MLS system in the first place. You can click into a default search if you want to, that it always goes to a default search. So it only goes to one search all the time, which once again, there's other ways to get to your searches. So I don't think this is very, very useful. You do have your time zone. It's got it already for you. And the last thing I want to show you on this page, because I know some people like to do this, is they like to have the dark screen with the white letters instead of the device default, which is, you know, the opposite, where it's white background and dark letters, which is what I have. Just as a note, I don't know what the difference is between light and device default. I've tried both and they look exactly the same to me, but that could be my old age creeping up on me and my eyes. So device default or dark is probably what most of you want, but you do want to choose between search listings and dashboard and see which one you want to go for first. They both have different features, but I'm going to leave mine as search listings. Really quickly here on the left-hand side, just before we get into search listings and your dashboard, on the left-hand side here, there's a bunch of different items. It's got your profile here, and it's already preloaded for you. You can add in your birthday and your URLs for websites, your social media, if you want to. That's up to you. your account is what we just talked about. Your market areas, and I'm going to show you a few ways that you can get to your market areas, but here's how you can add into your market areas that you want to have details about. You simply click on new market area, and you would put in, your name that you want to call it. You can put in your area, your municipality, and your community, select what you're looking for, and it'll save it. And it'll look, once you do that, oh, sorry, I have to move around a little bit. I'm just going to save this because I really didn't have one. I'm just going to go back. And you can see here when I click on my house as a market area, I'm sorry, I can edit it here, I can change it, and then I can save it, and then I can show you where your market areas are when we come into your dashboard. Notifications basically have everything to do with when you invite a client to Realm. And I'm not going to get into that now because that's not what this video is for. Land registry tells you how many you have left, and you can look at the reports that you have purchased. So I purchased the floor area report for $5 here. And if you have done a lot of them, they'll all show up here so that you can come back to them if you need them. And here's where you can change or import things from status. So if you have a Stratus list, you can add them to Realm Likes. If you have Stratus searches that you'd like to save, you can select which ones you want, and you can import them into Realm, and it'll save under your searches. So if you wanted to change your lists or your searches and put them into Realm so you don't have to repeat them when you come into Realm, this is exactly where you do that. And that information was all found under settings here in your profile. Put this over here maybe, might make life a little easier. In your settings here is where we were to find all this stuff here. Across the top here, we have your help desk. And this is Realm's help desk, where you can find your tutorials for videos, your help articles. There's introduction to Realm on a desktop, getting started guide and video tutorials. How can you access Realm support? How to create a CMA using the Realm CMA, though I've also created a video for you for that. How to import your contacts into Realm from Stratus. A lot of people want to know that. How to save a search for one or more contacts. I'm going to show you how to do that. How can I import my saved searches and prospect searches? And we talked about that already from when you come into your settings. Here is that information was there as well, and Stratus list and Stratus searches is there already as well. So the help desk is really, really kind of important to be able to find quick answers to all sorts of questions, frequently asked questions, user tip and user guide and tip sheets, all good things that you should be able to access at your fingertips if you have any questions. The next one over to the left is the 9 dots or the waffle. And the 9 dots or the waffle have the links into different programs, a lot of them that Stratus has and Realm has. And there's quite a few of them, as you can see, signed bylaws down here, RICO advertising guidelines, managing my profile, which is the same as your profile up here. It's got things like realtor.ca if you want to go in there. Condo Corner is another one. But I think the more important ones that you'll use more often are in color. For example, here is Sky Slope Forms to be able to access Sky Slope. Here's Web Forms if you want to access Web Forms, if that's what you're still using. We have different IDX management, Toronto maps, which is very handy, of course. And as we come up further, here's Geo Warehouse in Realm so that you can access Geo Warehouse, the training videos, financial tools, the classic CMA, which takes you to the Stratus CMA, the Realm CMA here, land registry search, listing, add, edit functions if you have that capability, listing inventory to show your listings. All that kind of stuff is in here. Okay, so you might have to go in here to learn it a bit. I wish we could actually move them around so that we could get the ones that we like the best to the top kind of thing, but it doesn't let you do that. But these are the direct links. Now, when Stratus finally is gone on July 30th, you're going to find out, exactly what's left in here for the direct links. I'm not exactly sure what kind of shape it's going to look like when it's finally Stratus is gone, but you can bet that this is going to be a place that you come to an awful lot in here. So as we talked about earlier, in your home page, there's two really important parts. There's your dashboard and your search page. Across the top here, we have notifications, which shows you your most recent activity. And you can see I deleted a shopping cart for Mrs. Buyer. I updated a search for condos in Toronto. And this will give me a quick link into those if you want to use that. Pretty simple. It's just recent activity that you have done. This is the chat feature that we talked about before. And the chat feature is pretty simple. I can click on Jill and I can chat with Jill. And if you recall from here, when we were here, it was one of the home pages that you could go to is your chat feature. If you want to, every time you sign into Realm, you want to go to your chat page. This is where you would sign into, is into your chat page. So I don't think it's really useful. The chat feature is interesting. It only will allow you to chat with clients that you have entered into the Realm system, into your contacts here. Okay, you won't be able to chat with anybody that's not in your contacts. It's not like just chatting with somebody from your cell phone, putting in a phone number and going. It'll only chat with people from here. So it's kind of useful. I managed to send a listing via chat to Jill just to check it out, see how it worked. And so you might want to try that as well one day. Your documents. Your documents are an interesting feature. Your documents, you can upload documents and then you can send them to your contacts. Now, I'm not so sure that it's a very useful feature because probably you have documents that are saved somewhere in your desktop already that you might want to send to a contact. For example, maybe you are doing a purchase of a house, you have a buyer, and your contact says, well, what do I do now that the deal is firmed up? What's the next step? Maybe you have a document that you could easily send them from here, but probably you have that document stored that you would just email it to them anyway. So I don't know the real usefulness of this, but you can try it and play, see if you like it. Contacts we're going to get back to shortly when we looked at the search feature. So we're going to start off here. That was just a quick introduction to these features along the top here. So we're going to start off here at your dashboard. If you have selected that your opening page is your dashboard, this is what you are going to get. You're going to get your market areas, and your market areas are the market areas that we found here in your settings when I was here at the very beginning. And here are your market areas. And you can see here, I'll just move this around again. You can see here that here are my 3 market areas that I've had. And you have today's information on market areas. And I can simply click on this one. Oh, this looks interesting. This is my market area. I'm always interested in this area, what's going on. And it'll simply bring up the listing. We'll look at a listing in more detail in just a moment. Here's a trick for Realm. You can see here that there's a back button here. You could also try to use this one, but this is going to take you out of Realm. You want to use this back button when you're on a listing. You want to use this back button here. and it takes you back to that page that you were on. I can also, from here, I can go, oh geez, it's Monday. I've missed the last 3 days. Let me go here and see what else has happened. Oh, look at this. Over the last 3 days, there's 10 changes. And there's a snapshot of what's going on. I can view all really quickly here. And here's those changes that have happened in the last 3 days. Here's one, price change, sold conditional, suspended, new, sold, new. And you can see what's happening when I click on here. I don't have to click, I should say, when I just hover over the thumbnail, it shows me the location, exactly where these things are. Okay, so that's your market area that you see here. I have in my new office here, I have no listings yet, but let me see. What about 3 days ago? What happened? Oh, there was 2 changes here. One's expired, one's a new listing, that kind of a thing. And so you can definitely see the changes that have happened for your market areas. And how do you do a market area? You can go here, or you can do it through your profile, and I can make a new market area, or I can delete an old market area, no problem at all. So you have 2 ways that you can get into your market area, and that is one from here and the other one in here in your settings. And then what else is on your dashboard? Your dashboard are the most recently viewed listings. It's very simple. Land registry parcels that I've looked at. Here they are. Saved lists that I've made. And then it's got the Toronto Real Estate Board most recent news, Homeowner Protection Act, TRED statement on Toronto City Council approval of townhomes. Get ready for the Stratus sunset. Stratus sunset, we all know that's coming, July 30th. And more, if you want to click on more, this is all your news. So some people will want to use their dashboard because they want to see their market areas first. Okay, and that's basically it. The other one, of course, is search. And when you click on search, it starts off with a general map of, well, in this case, southwestern Ontario to a large degree. And nothing has been set up. It's just going to go from the lowest price and go up from there. $1, $1, $1, $1, has over 10,000 results of freeholds for sale. It's where you go first, $1. Look at all these $1 sales. And just as a note to you guys that want to do listings, don't do listings for $1. Your phone rings off the hook. Nobody knows what you want for a real price. It's pretty much a waste of time and effort. So across the top here, you have the same menu as you had in Stratus. First of all, you have location. And the beauty part about location as opposed to Stratus is if you know the community that you want, you do not need to put in the area, municipality, or community. The other part I want to point out is MLS. So in MLS number, sometimes people are going to call you and say, hey, I was looking at realtor.ca and I found these 5 places, and they email you the MLS numbers. You can enter all the MLS numbers here all in one shot, separated by a comma, and it'll remove all the other filters. It's just going to go straight to those MLS numbers that somebody has told you about. Or you can go into the community, and as an example for the community, I'm just going to type in Oak Ridges, and hopefully I'll try that again. I think my computer is working a little slowly. Oak Ridges, here we go. Oak Ridges, and I also want Lake Wilcox. Oak Ridges, Lake Wilcox. It can't be easier. And what that does is it takes you to a map automatically of Oak Ridges and Lake Wilcox. And if we zoom in, you can actually see the dividing line between the two areas, if it makes a difference to you. But there it is. And it shows that there are right now 155 freehold properties for sale in Oak Ridges. Really straightforward. Okay. So let's take a look at the for sale function. So here you can change it to a lease if you want to. You have to get rid of sale and go to lease. And let's just have a look here. And there are the leases in Oak Ridges. I'm going to go back to sale. And I'm going to go to unavailable. And it's going to show me the unavailables. And I'll show you how to do a date in here shortly. Right now, it's taking from here between 2021 and now. Okay. Can I expand that? And you'll see this is now from 2010 to now. So a quick way to do the date, though it doesn't give you the option of doing a month. Okay, it's just strictly by year. I can change freehold to condo. Not too many condos in Oak Ridges. I can select what kind of condo, that kind of thing. Pretty straightforward. I can select commercial, see what commercial properties are for sale in Oak Ridges as well. And you can separate this by sale of business, land, industrial. This is no different from Stratus, just in a slightly different format. Going to go back to freehold because that seems to be the most common, of course. Going to get rid of commercial or else it's showing both. And I'm done that as well. Bed and bath. So here's where you put in the bedrooms. And this is bedrooms plus that are in the basement. And this is bathrooms. Now, this is different from Stratus. If I put in 3 bedrooms, here we go. It only will show me the houses that have 3 bedrooms. It will not show me the 4 and 5 plus as well. You have to click on both of them. Okay, simple as that. Okay, so same for bedrooms in the basement, same for bathrooms. If you're only looking for 2 bathrooms, it's only going to show you the properties that have 2 bathrooms. It's not going to show you the properties that have 3 and 4. You have to click on both to see them all. Okay, quite simple. Okay, very important. I'm going to go back to unavailable or to available. Okay, so right now we have freeholds available, 3, 4, and 5, 3 and 4 plus bedrooms, 2, 3, and 4 plus bathrooms, and we have 141 results. Price. Now, price is kind of crazy the way they've got it here. You can see here it's got an explanation on what this is. This filter searches by list price for available listings and closed price for unavailable listings. So it gets confusing because it messes it all up. So I recommend you never use this first line. I'm not even going to show you it does it so badly. You're going to look for the list price because somebody has told you that they can spend 1.3 million to 1.6 million as an example. And now we've narrowed down the search results to 33 results. So we're going to leave it like that. And we come to more filters. And in more filters, this is where you can do, I only want new. I only want things that have had a price change. I'm not so sure that anybody would click on sold conditional, but I guess sometimes you could find out if you were in a multiple offer situation and the property supposedly sold conditional, you could check to see what the status was. You can sold conditional with an escape clause. That's an escape clause. Usually that's for the sale of the buyer's house, that kind of thing. Okay, you can put in street numbers and street names just like you could in Stratus. It has the last update, for what's for sale, which is very important if this was a sold, unavailable. I'm just going to change this up. Done. There's the unavailables, but now we're going to put in the update. I only know what's sold in the last month. Let's see. There was 25 solds in the last month. There you go. Okay, so there have been some action there for sure. But I am going to just go back to here. I'm just going to clear this out. And we're just going to go back to more filters. And oh, I'm sorry, I have to go back to more filters. I did that a bit backwards. We're going to put the sold date here as May 1st. And there's your answers, 7 results. And then you can come back to more filters. You can put in days on market if you want. You can put in what styles that you want. If you want a basement with a finish with a walkout, we can do that. Let's see. Well, 0. So let's not do that. Let's just put in full basement. And there's 3 results. If you keep coming down the list, parking spaces, garage types, kitchens, pool, laundry, lot frontage, and then of course you have the add a field where you can get to remarks for clients or remarks from brokerages. This is all exactly the same as Stratus. No different at all, just in a slightly different format. Okay, so the search function is fairly straightforward. So here we go, we're done. And now we have these 3 properties in Oak Ridges that my client is interested in looking at. Your clients are interested in looking at. So we can look at them individually. So first of all, let's take a look at what a listing looks like in Realm. And here we go. Here's the listing salesperson, another listing salesperson. I must have the solds up again here. This property is sold. It's sold for $1,353,000. So just gonna, sorry guys, I was stuck in the solds there. I want to change this to available. My mistake. So that we can see what it actually looks at for availability. So here we go. So I'm going to look at a listing now for this one, and it shows the new, it's 1.399. Here's a quick look, 3 beds, 2 baths, 9 rooms, 2,000 to 2,500 square feet. This happens to be a brand new listing of the date that I've done this. The listing salesperson, eXp Realty. You click on the 3 dots. Here's his phone number, office phone number, and email address. When you scroll down, he's got the attachments here, which is a floor plan. Maybe normally Schedule B would be in here as well. Maybe they're still working on it. It's got directions on how to get there, virtual tour. View in Stratus, I'm sure, is going to disappear come July 30th. How to make an appointment. Here's web forms, Sky Slope, Altus, direct link into Geo Warehouse. Make an offer with Sky Slope offers if the brokerage offers that. Property line store if you want to buy a map or a survey, that kind of thing. It's got the description. It's got the listing information. It's got the legal description. It's got your commission co-op. It's got the seller's names. It's got your taxes. All that wonderful stuff is in here. Here's your property information. Basically, all the same information that was in Stratus, just in a different format. Now, here's a nice feature of Realm. It's got the extras, it's got the inclusions, exclusions, brokerage remarks, offer presentation, 5 p.m. on June 3rd. And then it's got the map. It's got your property history here. What's happened? So in 2011, it was a transfer for $515, sold for TREB. And there's more information about it as well if you want to see the whole history of the property. Way back in 1987, somebody bought it for 188,000. Now it's listed for 1.399, and you can see the whole growth of that. I'm going to show less. And then the nice features are land registry. It takes you right to land registry. It takes you to the parcel registers that you can buy. It shows you the surveys that you can purchase, that kind of thing. Any easements, site and structure. It's got the frontage and the depth, who's it contracted with, mortgage information, and demographics of the area. So basically, it takes you to Geo Warehouse pretty quickly and has most of the information that you would receive in Geo Warehouse, and it's all attached to the listing. Okay, so when you're in a listing, you can go across the top here. Here's your listing info, okay, as an example, okay? And if I go back, it takes me right out of here. So across the top in your listing page, I can email this directly to my client. I can add this to a list. If you're the listing agent and you have the access, you could edit your listing. You can create a CMA immediately. You can go right to the history of the property. Just have a quick look here, listing history. Here's all the details of the listing. Here it all is, same stuff, it's just your listing history. Oops, sorry, back. And finally, print. Now printing's a little crazy here in Realm. So printing gives you a bunch of options, okay? We're printing the current listing. Do you want to include the map, listing summaries, listing table, how many photos do you want to have? And here's the part that's really important. You have 4 different choices of how it's going to print. You have the broker full, okay? You have broker full sheet. You have client full, and you have client full sheet. Broker full and client full is going to show you everything. It's going to give you the attachments, the links, the description, the listing info, the property info, the features, and the land registry. It's about 5 or 6 pages that you're going to print out. Broker full sheet is going to give you 1-page MLS sheet, just like you used to get in Stratus. No different. Has the cooperating brokerage commission at the bottom, has the taxes, that kind of thing. No different from Stratus. If you print the client full sheet, they're going to get the client full sheet, which is about 6 or 7 client full, I should say. You're going to get the client full 6 or 7 pages, including all the demographics and Geo Warehouse information. If you click on client full sheet, you're going to get the 1-page MLS data sheet. So I believe you're either ever going to print the client full sheet or the broker full sheet. Simple as that. Cancel. Listing views. Do you want to only look at broker full? I would think you only want to leave this as broker full because that's the first thing you're going to look at. But if you want to change this, that you only want to see what a client full sheet looks like or a broker full sheet looks like, you can go here and it'll show you. It's the same as the MLS data sheet was, and then you just print it out from there. It's really simple, okay? Suggest a listing. So suggest a listing is taking me to my contacts, and I can suggest a listing to my contact. Hey, Mrs. Buyer, are you interested in this property? Suggest, and it'll go to her. Very simple. Nice quick way to send. Takes you to the chat function again, that I can send it via a chat about this listing. I can like it, and I'll show you where the likes are in a few minutes when we get to contacts. Or I can check this off because I want to save this as checked. And you can see this, I've saved it now as checked. So that's what happens when you click on a listing to see what it looks like. It takes you directly in I am still in, I believe, client full sheet, and I prefer to be in broker full because that's what I want to see, everything, all the information. Same thing. Okay. When you go back to this one for a moment. So I want to email. When I email, it changes the contact listing details to your name and our brokerage. I forgot to mention that. Okay. Changes all of this. Just like on the MLS data sheet that you get from Stratus at the very bottom, it says this property listed with EXP Realties, this one. This will do the same thing on the MLS data sheet at the bottom in small print. It says listed with EXP Realty. No different. Okay. So that is your basic search. Really simple to do. Just follow along the top, select what you want, and away you go. Okay. A couple more things I want to show you on here before we save a search. And one is the layout. So I'm on a consumer layout right now. I like the consumer layout. This is what I like to use. I can change it to map and card. So here's the map. You can change it and you can select all you want. And if you recall on Stratus, this was basically over on the right-hand side of the Stratus map, if you remember that from your searches. So I think a lot of people will use this. It comes up with your things that you've selected here, same way, just the little thumbnails, no different at all, but it does have this, and I can imagine a lot of you guys will want to use that. Map and table. Basically the same idea, except now instead of the thumbnails, it's coming up in a table, the 7 results. Just a table with no map, and map only with no thumbnails, which probably isn't the most useful. But me, I prefer consumer, but you guys need to play and see which ones you like, okay, to be able to use the most effectively. I'll do this. Contacts. Very important part. We've got our search and we've got contacts. We're going to go to contacts here. And in contacts, you can see I've set up Mrs. Byer, Jill Preston, who some of you know at the front desk here, Bob Smith. There's a template test and a John test here. Okay. And so in Mrs. Byer here, I've got her list. So I've got a test for her as one of the lists. I've got Bradford as one of her saved searches. Okay. So I'm going to go back to search here. And I've got a search here, and I'm going to go here. And I'm going to save my search. And who am I going to save it for? I'm going to save it for Mrs. Byer, and I'm going to call it Oak Ridges. And I'm going to make sure that email in real time to Mrs. Byer's email address. I'll just put my own email address in here. Okay. And I want her to get this in real time. So what am I doing here? and I'm going to show you how to make a contact. What I've done is I've saved the search for Mrs. Byer for Oak Ridges. Okay. What does this do? What this does is every time a new listing with these parameters that I have made for her, she is going to get an email in real time when that listing shows up. Simple as that. I'm going to send her a small photo with 3 lines so it doesn't take up too much space. I could send her a large photo with 7 lines, but it takes a lot of space in emails. Okay. Can I save it as her default search? So this is the one that we really, we want to see this as the only one she gets. I might have 3 other searches for somebody, but this is the one she's going to get for. I don't see why you would do this. Save the search. So I've saved that search now for Mrs. Buyer. And we're just going to do a quick refresh. We're going to go back to my contacts, Mrs. Buyer, and it hasn't uploaded yet. And so I have to give it a second to, oh, sorry, searches. In my searches, here I have clicked here, I've saved it. I did it today, created just a few seconds ago. So there you go. So that's how you save a search for somebody, put in their email address, and they will get the notifications on every time there's a new listing. Very important. Let's go back to contacts again. And I want to, if I want to mark her as not active, I want to share if you're with a team, I can edit her information. I can delete her totally, and it tells me when I've had it since. Status. I can make her anything I want. I would just leave it this blank. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, if she's inactive, why don't you just delete it? I can sort the information from Z to A or A to Z, no problem. Settings. I can see what I've done for her listing for Oak Ridges once again. Kind of repetitive. And I can go here to my condos. I can go to settings, and I can change anything that I want here for Mrs. Buyer as well. Okay. My contact. Couple things I want to show you here. Once again, not active or delete, no problem. Searches we've talked about. Lists, I can add her as I can add lists here. I can see what CMAs I've done for Mrs. Buyer. I can see what chats I've done with Mrs. Buyer. I can see what documents I've made for Mrs. Buyer. I can see any history that Mrs. Buyer doesn't have any viewed listings yet. I can make notes about Mrs. Buyer. Mrs. Buyer has told me she doesn't want to ever work with me again. I hope that doesn't happen. I can manage her. I can change her status. I can change, well, she's a buyer. I can change that. What stage is she in? She's in a stage for a home search, that kind of a thing. Start page after sign in, search listings, search view as consumer. So we've got it all as the same for Mrs. Buyer as well. Okay. Not hard to do. Here up the upper right-hand corner, I want to add a new client. I'm going to add John Smith. I can use a template. And if you recall on the left-hand side, I had a test template. That would be, for example, if you make a test template, that would be if you only are searching a lot in one area, such as condos in downtown Toronto. You specialize in condos in downtown Toronto. You can make a template for that search and simply add the template to John Smith's contact information, and he automatically gets that information from condos in downtown Toronto. I can put in a phone number, an email. I can put in what stage he's at, what type of buyer he's at. What else is there? Is there a nickname, info, social, current address? I can save, or I can save and invite. Saving will simply save it to my contact list. Saving and inviting is saving your contact and inviting them to join Realm. One of the features of Realm that we have not talked a lot about is inviting your contact to Realm. So why do that? So if you invite your contact to Realm, they can search on Realm just like you can search on Realm, and you can find ways to get that information on what your client is actually looking for. And one of the great features of that is you set them up for a search for new market, and then they set up a search for Innisfil themselves. You can be notified for that. So once again, this is not a course on Realm for clients. That's another video. But if I wanted to invite Mrs. Buyer after I had saved her, I can simply invite Mrs. Buyer. Now, I'm not going to do that because I don't really have a Mrs. Buyer, but that's how you can do that. Or when you created the content, the contact, you can save and invite all at the same time. Okay, if you have a ton of clients, you can search here and their name will come up. Okay, what is the status of your client? Active or inactive or disabled? Now, we have found here that what has happened is that you're going to import your clients from Stratus into here. And I showed you how to do that by going into settings in the upper right-hand corner here. You can import your clients into here. And you can, what'll happen is that they don't show up. They don't show up here on the left-hand side because they're inactive. You have to change them to active. Here, they have to be active. What stage are they in? Once again, we've seen this before. What type are they? We've seen this before. So the main part here is, you know, what I've done on the left-hand side here is I've created some of my own content, some of my own clients. You should get into Realm, make one or two of your own clients as well, and play with this, okay, so that you learn about this stuff, okay? This was adding the new template that I've created here and for condos in downtown Toronto. Here's where you can also import your client from Stratus. And here's where you can export your clients. You want to get rid of them or send them to another spreadsheet, that kind of a thing. So it's all very, very handy to be able to do that in your contacts here. Okay, so search. We've got your search. We're going to add to a list. And if you recall, I can add it to a list on anybody's list. Let's see, add to a list. I'm going to save it to Mrs. Buyer's list. And that's, let's see here. Oh, I haven't created a new list yet. I can create a new list. We're going to call it Oak Ridges. And we're going to add that. And now in Mrs. Buyer, we're going to go here. We're going to go to lists, Oak Ridges. Okay, there they are. View all to get all 7. And here they are. Very simple to do. Okay, you can change the columns, you can make tables, that kind of thing. Okay, so that is the basics of search. Not difficult to do at all. Here we have a zoom in, and here we have a zoom out. Here we can remove the shape. Going to do that. It's gone. I still have the parameters here. Okay, but now I'm just going to get rid of the location here. And now I'm going to draw something I want to see. Oops. In this area here. 14 results now. Going to clear that. I can do this as a polygon, which was the same as Stratus. I can make my own search parameters here. Close the search, 13 results in this search. Or just like Stratus, I can draw a circle as big as I want, and it'll come up with all the results. I have a toggle measure mode. So the toggle measure mode is kind of interesting. I want to see from, I've got one house here. How long is it going to take me to walk to Lake Wilcox. Toggle the measure mode. And from my house here to here is 1.2 kilometers. Down North Lake Road is 1.82 kilometers. Around North Lake Road, it's another 1.56 kilometers, and I can add up how far that is. Remember, it doesn't give you the total. You have to add each one of these up, but that could be handy. People want to find out how far it is to drive to Costco. I mean, I don't know. You can do that kind of thing pretty easily here. Map layers. So map layers shows the parcels. That's basically where we are now, I should say. And let's just zoom on in. And it's going to start to show all of the properties here. Okay, so I'm going to click on this, and it's going to show me 33 Worthington with a picture, geo warehouse information, site and structure, demographics. Really easy way to get into geo warehouse to do in here. It says it doesn't search any match properties because of all my filters here. Okay, so that's pretty handy to have. You can do average sale price. Let's have a look at average sale price. Just zoom out a little bit. So the average sale price in this area, and I'm still in Lake Wilcox area, here was 1.886, 1.19, 2.6, 1.7. And this is the average sale price for 2024. Some things have changed because there's some closings coming, obviously, and I can go back for January to March. What was the average sale prices? Well, there wasn't a sale here from January to April. We can also go here and we can go, what was the average sale price for 2023 for the year? Here was your average sale price. And it's going to give you this for anywhere you want to go inside the GTA. Can be handy. Quick look, you know, it's not, I don't think it's exactly perfect, but it's a quick look. You know, somebody says, well, how much are sales going in and around Lake Wilcox? Well, last year, the average sale in Lake Wilcox was 1.7 million, and there was 24 sales. Simple as that. What about north of Lake Wilcox? 1.6. There were 60 sales, you know, whatever. In the Cherry area, there were 44 sales averaging 1.76. Turnover. Here's your turnover rates. Your turnover rates are how many sales. So last year, go back to 2023. The turnover rate here was 5% turnover with 156 sales. This would be a good area to go door knocking in with a 5% turnover rate. Here, we have a 2.21% turnover rate with only 3 sales. This would be a bad area to go door knocking. And it breaks it down for all of the GTA. Eventually, if you zoom out too far, it won't work. You have to zoom in to get it really more accurate. Has a couple of other features here as well. It has growth, same idea. It shows you the growth. Has map art. It has your communities. So if you're looking for an MLS where my listing is going to be, you can find the communities very, very well. Also up here in the link section here, it has PDF maps, that kind of thing, of the trip maps. It's all there for you as well. Show your current location. So I have not done this. I don't have location access on my laptop, but if you want to show your location all the time, you can do that. I like to be a little more private, that I don't want Big Brother knowing my location. And jump to a location, I can simply type in the address of the location. The map will take me there automatically. So that is your search functions. So I can clear all this. Here we go. I can get rid of my map layers here because what I really want is the parcel fabric. That's probably the one you're going to use more often. And it's going to show me everything that's for sale because I have cleared everything. And here we go. And it starts to do it by price. Simple as that. Now, I have had this question before because look at all these prices. Look at all this way outside of the Treb area. It's the last thing I'm going to talk about for this section. This does not mean that we have access to these boards. This means these ones here, these have been interboard listed onto the Toronto Real Estate Board. That's what all of these are in the surrounding areas outside of the GTA area, okay? So it's just interboarded listings around there. So it might be helpful for some people, but it's there for you. And that is the search function. That is how to make a contact and how to save a search for a contact. The last feature I want to show you on Realm is this search feature here in the upper left-hand corner. When you click on that, it says you can enter an address, PIN, or MLS number to search for a listing or land registry parcels. So for example, we're going to put in, I don't know, 88 Knight Street in Alliston. So you can see here that these were the listings that have come up that have the 88 Knight. Okay. Here you have 88 Knight Street in Alliston. It has never been listed, folks. So I can click on that. It'll take me to the land registry for that. If I go 88 Knight and go, oh, here's the listing that I was interested in because it sold in Markham or terminated. What was the story here anyways? Well, it was 74 days on the market. It was terminated. It'll give you all the information, what's going on, when it was terminated, all that good stuff and the information. For sale listing will be terminated. Last chance to buy this property. Okay. You can also put in any MLS number that you want. It's going to come in automatically. Okay. I can search listing by filters. It's going to take me back to here. And I can search land registry. And basically I can put in my owner name, street address, land registry office you have to select. But the most common one that you would put in here is, oh, you're talking to your buyer and your buyer says, oh, I just drove by a house at 90 Knight Street. 90 Knight Street. Is it for sale? No, it's not for sale. Sorry, it's not for sale. Just here it is. But I can call the owner if I want to, if you want to really get at it. But it takes you to the land registry. So this is a very quick search function here. So across the top, quick search function for address, PIN number, or MLS number. Search takes you to the search page. You can narrow down your search by filtering here. And if you want to save a search, you go to your contacts and I'm sorry, you go to here and you can, I don't know what's going to give this to me, save my search if I want to here. No problem at all. I can save it. Didn't know it would do it for such a big area and save 10,000 searches. Don't think it will. Your contacts is where you add a contact, save your contacts, see what searches you have saved for your contacts. Documents, once again, probably a little bit not so useful. Chat will only work for chat features that you have saved clients' contacts for. Notifications gives you your most recent activity. Your dashboard gives you your market areas and Treb News down here. The 9 dots gives you your direct links into all the programs that are offered. The help function gets you into all your tutorials. And last but not least, your own profile. where you can edit your own profile, and settings. Help takes you to the same place as this question mark. Your settings takes you to what you're going to look for your start page. Some of the other details here that you can use. And that's it, folks. I hope that helps. Have a great day. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call. Contact Realms Help Desk directly. They are excellent at answering questions, I've got to tell you. They're really, really fast. And yeah, or call me or call your manager, and hopefully they'll be able to help you out. Have a great day, everybody. All the best. Take care.